to work around to see how Application Designer work in an IBM Tivoli Maximo 7.5 version. So I have an environment built on Maximo 7.5 version. So we will be demonstrating some of the things which some of the hints and tips which you can do on Maximo in 7.5. So the agenda which I have listed down for today's event is we are going to have some introduction, and we'll see what is Application Designer, what does it do, and what else you can achieve with Application Designer. Then we'll go and create a new custom application, a quick one. And obviously for creating an application, new custom application, you have to go around database configuration and all that. So we'll discuss this in shortly, but in a short brief overview. But we'll design a quick application based on the objects, we already have. And then we will have we'll develop some new fields covering the crossover domain or a linked object. So we'll go with the linked object and discuss what crossover domain does and a linked object. And we'll do some conditional formatting and changes different properties of a field through conditional formatting. We'll show some customization regarding width of any field. And we'll do a quick goodies in terms of showing a web page in Maximo as in a new tab. So these are the things which I have listed in hints and tips for Application Designer. Let me have it in a full view. So what is an application designer? I hope most of the audience know what is an application designer, but to give a quick brief overview of what is an application designer, the application designer is a new tool which is introduced in Maximo 7 version, and it has been enhanced in the 7.5 version, the version which we are using today. So what does an application designer is a tool which allows you to design an application, to change an application, to modify an application, pre-built application which Maximo is providing, and you can do it in terms of everything you can achieve it. You can achieve very quickly and easily through the graphical user interface, the GUI. Previously, this functionality wasn't provided in Maximo older versions. So it's a very good tool in terms of ease of use. It's very easy to use, and anyone with no knowledge of Java or no detailed knowledge of XML can easily design, because most of the things are on a button basis, and you can click it and enter information and it's there. So you can drag and drop. We'll go through the toolbars which are available in the Application Designer. So the next thing, I mean, if we go more in detail, what an application designer do is we can move fields, and moving fields and sections, the tabs you see on the application, you can move all these things. You can add more tabs, you can add new fields, you can add columns, rows, you can add more tables. And in terms of advanced functions which Application Designer offers is you can create more applications, you can duplicate an application, you can clone an application, you can define signature options, you can have conditional formatting based on criteria. For each criteria for security groups, you want for one group you want to have certain functionality to appear. For other groups you want another functionality or change in functionality. So all this you can achieve with an Application Designer, and then you can define and design your own toolbars, your own set of actions in an application. So I'll quickly show what is in an application designer. That's the new Maximo 7.5 version interface in the Start Center. If anybody hasn't seen it, you can see it's a bit changed and more graphics has been added to the 7.5. These new buttons, and it's more. It looks cool in terms of the look and feel, and it has definitely has added more functionalities and functions in it. So the application designer is located in the system configuration, platform configuration, and then you have to click on the application designer. So these are the system functionality. If you are the administrator, you must have the rights to view this application. So in this application, you have all the applications which you can see in Maximo. And if you press enter, you can see all the applications are here. And I'll briefly go into one application and share some of the toolbars which are located So there we have we'll discuss some of the tools which are available in an application. So over here we have an import application, import an XML. So what application designer does, it converts everything into an XML file, and you can import this XML file or you can export an XML file. So once you want to change or edit this application, you can export the XML and save it in your in any file. And once if you think that the things didn't went right, or you want to back up the application, you can easily import the application. Then we have some tools, which is the control palette, which I'll show. I mean, this is the control palette. You have all the objects and the attributes which you can drag and just click on it and drop it on the applications, and you will have that functionality. Then you have for each individual object you dropped, you can have you can view the properties for that, and each individual object has different properties. Then you have added dialogues. Then you can see if you have in Maximo you have multiple dialogues, like you have dialogues for search more, you have dialogues to add an attribute, you have dialogues to customize change statuses, to have bookmarks, and all these dialogues are available over here. So you can if you want to change or added any dialogues, you can add from here. So this is a brief introduction of an application designer, and we'll go back to the presentation. So the first item which I have planned to do is we'll create a new custom application in Maximo 7.5. So for creating a new application, you have to access the application designer, and it's very simple. Just click on the new button and enter all the details, and you will have the new application. But before doing and creating a new application, you have to go into the database configuration, and if you want to add this application and this application, if you want this application to have a separate table which doesn't exist in Maximo, then you have to go in Maximo database configuration and prepare the basis of your application. So we'll quickly go into the database configuration and see what are the options available. So we'll go and look into one of the objects which are already available in Maximo, which is a ticket table. A ticket table is the basis of the service request table, the problems and incidents and activities and tasks. So this is the basis of the of these applications. So So if you want to add a table, if you want to add a new table, which could be another ticket 1, ticket 2, you will go over here and click on the new object and you will create the object. Then obviously while creating an object, it's a bit more complex and you have to add the class files, and if you require any class file, you will add a class file. And you have to, if you want to enable auditing on the table, you can audit all the information, whatever you have, whatever the things, whatever the attributes which are modified, and the things which are modified. So to enable an audit, you have to just click on the audit enabled, and this will audit all the informations which are being modified in a table or in an application. So if you want to create a new application based on a new table, you have to click on the new object and you have to add all the attributes. So you have to go into the attributes and you have to click on the new row. In the new row, and then you can add some more relationship and advanced features like indexing and all that. So obviously if you want to create an application in Maximo, you have to add some of the relationship. You will relate with locations or work orders or PMs, service desk, whatever. So you will create all the relationships over here, and these are the relationships which are being used in the programs. Like if you are writing a code, you're writing a class files, all these things are being added over here. So we'll quickly go into the application designer and create our new custom application. So to create a new application, you just have to click on the new application definition. And for instance, we want to create a service request application, and we will call it service request official or SR office. For instance, we are creating a service request for internal office